Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Jacob Castro and welcome to another video here on Jacob's Aquarium. Hope you guys are doing good and I hope your tanks are doing good as well. Today I wanted to give you guys an update on the ADA 75P. It's been a while since I've talked about that tank. It's still up and running and the plants are still growing. Everything's still fine. It's been almost 8 months that the ADA 75P has been set up. So it's been quite a while and the plants have had ample time to grow in and take a look for yourself. So as you can see, the Rotala pretty much took over the right and left sides of this tank, pretty much because those are the only spots in the tank that have substrate. Rotala is a really fast growing plant once it gets established. I know it very well. I've grown it before in my other tanks. And so I knew, you know, once I planted this plant in my tank that it would take over eventually. But I kind of like it. I think it looks good. The color is definitely starting to come out now that the Rotala has grown tall enough to get, you know, as close as it can to my light fixture, which by the way is the Castro A360X. Beautiful light fixture. I still love it till this day. I've made videos about it, so check it out. They're on my channel. It's a great light and it grows plants like crazy. It's grown this Rotala like crazy, as you can see. And it's also grown my Buse plants pretty good as well. The one Buse plant that I was really afraid that I would never get to grow again just because it is so expensive, and when I planted it in my tank it pretty much looked like it was dying, was this Buse right here. This is I forget the name. I think it's called marbled something, but it's a very, well, I shouldn't say very, I should just say it's considered a rare species. And I say that because once I made a video about it, people started saying, well, here in my country, that plant is really readily available and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, I guess it's not so rare after all, whatever. So, but here in America, it's considered a pretty rare species of Buse. It's not really sold in the stores. It's rarely found on the internet. I found it from one of my distributors over here in Southern California, and I couldn't pass it up, so I bought it and put it in my tank, and like I said, it started to die and I was afraid that, you know, it was going to be gone forever, and I definitely was not going to take a chance and buy it again because even wholesale this plant is expensive. But it came back and it's growing very, very nicely now. The root system has established and it's put out some new leaves, and the leaves look absolutely gorgeous. I love the white and green speckled color on the leaves. It's so pretty, and it's just so unique compared to the Buse that we're all used to growing. You know, the brown colored, red colored Buse. Well, I shouldn't even say red, I should say dark red, you know, velvety red. There's not a Buse out there that's really, you know, a vibrant bright red for like a Mania gracilis red, you know, nothing like that. But it develops a coloration that is unlike most Buse out there. So I'm so glad that it came back and it started to grow again, and I can't wait to see it flourish in this tank. It's a very, very slow grower. I mean, think about it, the tank's been up for almost 8 months and this is all I've gotten out of it. Of course it did start to die, you know, but it had plenty of time to grow back, and it's taken this long just to get this little bit of growth out of it. My other Buse plant, Buse Bellandae, is growing very well too. Same thing with the other Buse though, it's taking such a long time for it to really spread out. Buse is such a slow grower. Well, I shouldn't say Buse in general, I should just say this species of Buse and the other species of Buse that I have, they're slow growers. I've heard of some that grow pretty fast, you know, not super, you know, Rotala fast, you know, but they grow much faster than other species of Buse. But the ones that I have in particular grow very, very slowly. So this is all I've gotten out of it in almost 8 months. So it's going to take probably a matter of years before it really has established in my tank, which I think is a huge reason to give people props that have this plant growing in their tanks and have it really established and, you know, just everywhere. You know, people that have taken the time to grow this plant out to that size should be given an award because that takes a lot of time, a lot of dedication. It's not easy. You know, you have to keep your tank up and running and successful for that amount of time. We're talking years and years and years to get it to really spread out. So, you know, props to those people because it's taking so long for mine to get to the size that it is today. And I'm surprised that I even had the patience to wait this long for it to spread out. You know, but both my Buse plants are doing great. The other plant that I'm really excited to talk about that I have growing in my tank is my white Anubias. This plant I only discovered recently, and when I say recently I mean like in the middle of last year, you know, so pretty recent, but a while ago. I found it at a local, one of my local fish stores that I love to visit down in Santa Monica. And it was a tissue culture and it was pretty expensive, but I wanted it because I, up until then, haven't seen a Buse that was, or Buse, Anubias, I mean, that was all white. And now that it's had a chance to kind of grow out, and again, Anubias is a really slow growing plant no matter which one you buy, including this one. So in 8 months, this is all I've gotten out of it. But I've kind of investigated a little bit, kind of moved the substrate around, and I can see that the root system on this plant is very well established, so that's good. So the root system has grown a lot, but the plant itself has not grown that much. But nonetheless, it looks beautiful. I love the way this plant looks. It's such a subtle, you know, I like to call it wedding white color on this plant. It's just gorgeous. And guys, once this plant has really grown out and like taken over that whole section of my aquarium, it's gonna look amazing. I can't wait for that. So my white Anubias is doing really great. I'm sure there's a specific name for it. I don't remember what it is. I'm just calling it white Anubias. If you feel the need to correct me, post it in the comments, and great, now we know the correct name, but I call it white Anubias. So that plant's doing great. I also have some Anubias Nana Petite and Amania gracilis growing in this tank as well, but the Rotala is completely taken over, so you can't really see those plants. But they're still there, they're still growing, they're just hidden. The Anubias is okay because they can grow in shady areas of an aquarium, so I'm not too concerned about that. The Amania gracilis, however, I think will probably eventually die back just because it's not getting as much light, because it's just completely taken over by the Rotala. Now you may notice that I don't have any fish in this tank anymore, and the reason why is because I decided to take them all out and make this purely a shrimp tank. I couldn't take out all my autocinkless catfish just because they're very hard to find, they're very small, and I did not want to destroy my tank. But I did take all the fish out, and I want to make this a shrimp only tank. As you can see, I put some pre-filter sponges on my canister filters to prevent my shrimp from being sucked up in there. So yeah, this is a shrimp only tank, and I do want to get some red crystal shrimp and some other species of shrimp in this tank, but right now I have a lot of Amano shrimp, and I have one in particular that I think is pregnant or has eggs or larvae or whatever. I did some research and I found out that it's nearly impossible to breed Amano shrimp in an aquarium, or so I read, and maybe you guys know something different, but so I'm not holding out hope that the babies will make it, but I have one that does look like she has something going on in her fins. You know, looks like she's carrying eggs or babies or whatever. So I mean, I guess that means that, you know, my Amano shrimp are pretty happy where they live. You know, if they're breeding, then I guess that's a good sign. You know, that means they're pretty happy. So my aquarium inhabitants are really enjoying my ADA 75P and how everything's grown out, and you know, it's just, this tank is just doing beautifully. It's just doing great. Last but not least, I wanted to talk about my canister filters that I have running on this tank. I have my Fluval 407, 107, 407. I don't remember exactly, but the new Fluval canister filter, the one I just made a video about, I have 2 of those running on this tank, and absolutely, like I said, have fallen in love with these filters. They're so quiet. which is such a blessing because, like I said, I hate noise in my room. I can't sleep with noise in my room, but you know, these filters are so quiet. And before this, I had a power filter that would make noise all night, and it was so annoying. But I got 2 of these, and they're just so quiet, and they're doing a great job filtering the tank. The water is crystal clear. It's just great. You know, I really couldn't ask for more out of these filters. So I have 2 of them running on my tank. They're putting out pretty good flow, keeping up the water movement in the tank, and everything's just going great with the ADA 75P. I really couldn't be happier. So that's really all there is to talk about. If you guys have any questions though about my ADA 75P, questions or comments about my ADA 75P, feel free to post them in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Also, don't forget, I sell plants on jacobsaquarium.com. That's my website. I have over 100 different species of plants, or I should say almost 100 different species of plants to choose from. And I'm messing up left and right in this video. I'm so tired, guys. I've been working 7 days a week out here at the nursery. But yeah, that's my website. Almost 100 different varieties to choose from. Also, don't forget to check me out on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to see what the future holds for the ADA 75P. And I can't wait to make more videos about it for you guys and show you guys all the progress that this tank has made in the very near future. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, have fun with your tanks, and I'll see you next time.